Mm. Hi, everyone. My name is PK, and I'm here with my client, Benson, who has secured a pretty good deal. He's bought Interstate without a buyer's agent. He's got something that is sub $500,000. So actually, it's sub $450,000 in a really, really, really high growth suburb. This suburb has grown like more than $50,000 literally in the last 4 or 5 months, and he's got something that will give him, some neutral to positive cash flow. So the purchase price was for 12,500, and the rent will be, he's advertising it for 400, but even in a bad scenario, you could say you might come down to 390, or let's say 380. But regardless, it's not going to cost him anything to hold. He's been through the property investment accelerator. I can tell you, Benson asked a lot of questions, and you really made the most of the course, which is what it's there for. So this video, I'm just going to ask him some questions and really tease out and see if we can help everyone that's watching, you guys, or listening, because he's now got a high growth property with positive cash flow, and hopefully he can impart some wisdom, some knowledge onto you, and just share his experience so that you can get confidence and you can maybe take that next step as well and get closer towards your first or next investment property. All right. So if this video helps you at all, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, turn the notification bell on, give it a like or love, and tag someone that might benefit. But without waffling on, welcome Benson, and congratulations on pretty good deal.
Thanks, PK. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share my experience.
No, thank you for making the time out. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Um, so yeah, maybe we just start off by just share with people, share with everyone your sort of background. So like, who are you? Like, where do you live? What do you do for a living? Like, just be great to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, no worries. I live in Canberra and I'm a chef. Been in this industry for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I wanna investing in property is because I realized I can't really do the job I'm doing right now for forever, for sure. And I think the only way I can achieve my finance free, or let's say more flexibility in my life, is generate the passive income. And the way I chose the investing in property is the property investment is sort of like more solely, like a solid investment. And actually you can invest in something you actually can see it and feel it. And for the long term, let's say 10 to 20 years, generally speaking, all the property gonna grow in values for sure.
Mm.
But once I doing the research, there's so many opinions, informations out there, and if you ask 10 people, you might get more than 10 answers for that. So it's really just confused me whether I should do this or not. So I
Okay.
can't make my correct decisions to do it. So that's why I seek for help. And so I start from like research on a Facebook group. I just simply type like property investment or property investor, and there's a bunch of that groups pop up, and PK was one of them. And I actually joined a bunch of that groups and just like see on the side. And when I look into the PK's group, I can easily tell this guy might sell something for his business, and I was like, okay, fair enough. And I didn't care too much back that time, and I just sit on the side. And there's one day I can't remember when, but I was browsing my Facebook page on my phone, and there's one of the PK's YouTube videos just pop up on my screen. And what I was just thinking, well, just give it a try and look. And once I finished that videos, I literally changed my mind of the property investment.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think PK might have something I really learned from him. in their videos. So I literally went back to his videos, and during I watched that videos, I did contact you, ask a few questions through the Facebook, like what's the content of the course and how do you do this, and I realized that's really that's a self-education program, which is I really want to do this because rather than giving people money and rely on their opinion to achieve your financial freedom, I think that's more high risk. So I just willing to learn from myself through this course and do the right thing. And back at that time, I now make my decision straight away to join the course. I literally finished. I think back time there was 65 videos. 65. I literally finished all of them and then make my decisions. Yeah, because I can't just give the money to that person I don't really know about, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm from, and I literally don't have any knowledge or any kind of experience of property investment. Yeah.
Amazing. And I just want everyone to know as well that if you do a course, whether it's mine or anything, it's not like a magic bullet or a silver bullet, as they say. It's not a magic pill. You need to, it's not that it's not a part-time job or anything, but it still requires focus. It still requires some time. It requires some energy. And I think that's what I can say about Benson, like truthfully. Like he was focused. Anytime he didn't understand something, he would be asking me, right? You would be asking me either over the Zoom calls that we were having or the community forum, or you were just messaging me on Facebook. And I think that's really what um, is required. So many people these days, they either pay someone or they do it themselves, but they jump into things without fully understanding it. And property is something that is it can be very confusing. There's lots of contradictory pieces of information, so a lot of times people just put their hands up and say, either I'm not doing it at all, or it's all too hard, I'm just going to throw a dart at the map, and hopefully where I pick is going to be good. But I really want you to be diligent about this. This is a 3, 4, $500,000 decision. It can actually build passive income for you. So take it seriously, which I think hopefully everyone, including my clients, can learn from Benson. He really was, very, very, very focused. I think I'm gonna get this quote wrong, but there was this quote. Someone was asking Bruce Lee about, how is it that he's so good, and he answered, not that he practices 1,000 kicks once, but he said, I practice the same kick 1,000 times, right, or something to that effect. In other words, he was laser focused on one thing, and I think that's been my observation. As you could say, a mentor or educator for Benson. He's been really, really focused over the last couple of months or so, really been driven and hungry to get this outcome, which he's now achieved. So, Benson, what was it, out of curiosity? You said that you saw one of my YouTube videos and you clicked on it, and at that point you were like, oh yeah, I'm going to invest in property. Like, what was it? Do you remember about that video? Was it the content? Was it some other thing that got you over the line to say, I will invest in property?
Actually, I can't remember which video was, but basically, I learned from that video is all you teach us is based on the data, right? Like raw data, and that's the information allow you to determine this suburb is good or not, right? And if you just listen to someone's opinion, it's not really gonna work that way because, as you said, no one cares about money as much you do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and through the data, you can block all the noise around you and make the right decision. So, from that videos, I realized this person talks differently than others.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, it's good. It's good that you picked up on that. I just did a video yesterday on how oftentimes professionals, real estate professionals,
yeah,
whether they're selling agents or buying agents, they make things sound really difficult. like there's 100 things you need to know and 50 different data points, and you need to be on the ground, full-time expert, um, which is really not true. But I can say whatever I like, and some people believe me or not believe me. But Benson, like from your experience, from going from that video which was saying that don't take PK's opinion, his opinion is worth no more than anyone else's. From going from that video, that's where you understood that data was everything. What was your actual experience of the course of the Property Investment Accelerator? Like, you're not a data scientist, you're not a mathematician, you're not a statistician, you don't work in finance, you're a chef.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but chefs don't really need to work with too much data.
No, not
Like,
at all.
so like, what was your experience of being able to learn and implement our data methodologies?
So I would say, I think many people saying, including yourself, saying your course is very expensive, right? But I really don't think it's very expensive. I would say it's very cheap because when I purchase something, I always look at the values other than price. If you just look at the price, then might expensive. But if you can get more values out of it, than price, I think it's worth it. Every penny. And I think most people, they are not showing how to do it, or they are not sure am I doing right or wrong, because that their lack of confidence, right? And there's so many data you need to look at. Maybe if you search online, there's $100 you have to look at. But
Mm-hmm.
once you spend time on those 100, you might waste your time on those data. It's not really doesn't matter at all. So sorry, I just make some notes in front of my laptop, so
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
okay.
remember what I'm going to say. And even though you know how to which data you're gonna look at, but do you know the threshold you need to look at, right?
Mm.
And even all these things, you still need the teams around you. Like PK says, property investment is not like single player, single player sports. You need to have a good teams around you and support your goals. And you are the captain of the team to lead your team to work for you. Yeah. So from during this course, I really understand property investment is not that hard. You just need to look at like a certain amount of data, and the ratio is very important. And you need to analyze from that data, and you can select good suburb to invest in. Yeah.
Yeah. No, brilliant, brilliant. And I think I just want to emphasize that for everyone that's watching or listening as well, you don't need 100 data points. You don't need to go through that much. The point of having a proven process or system is to already have identified which data points or factors are most important, their trends, as Benson was saying, the thresholds that they need to be in, their relative weightings, and that's really all you need to know. Anyone can do it, whether you're a teacher or a chef or a nurse or anything, right? Like, I think that the proof is in the pudding, and Benson is that proof. And Benson, if we try to add some value to others right now, so a lot of people are on the sidelines. They're thinking this is really, really difficult, which I don't blame them. Before you actually get going, it does seem very difficult. um, you're in ACT, you're in Canberra, and you
Yeah.
bought in South Australia.
Yeah.
Capital city. You bought in a $412,000 property with positive cash flow. You did this without a buyer's agent. What gave you the confidence to actually do that? Like, what was it that you can is there like a one or two pieces of advice that you can give to someone maybe sitting in Canberra right now
Yeah.
that wants to buy outside of Canberra? Because let's face it, Canberra prices have gone through the roof, and wants to start their investment portfolio. What's some advice that you can give them in how to buy interstate? Obviously, without a buyer's agent.
Sure. So from my point of view, if you want to learn something from someone, the person need to be already achieved the goal that you want to be, right? Like PK has already achieved the goal I want to be. So 100% no doubt I can learn so much from him. And I think the most benefit of this course is PK use himself for the last, I think, more than 10 years experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like a concentrate everything in just 6 weeks course. So imagine that if you can learn something just in 6 weeks, learn from someone who's already have 10 years experience and already succeeds on this area, I think this course is already no-brainer deal. So I think the course is totally worth it. And if you're just on the sideline and don't know how to do it, I mean, you just need some educations yourself is very important. Because even you pay someone 10, 15K to buy as agent, they make your life easier. They sort of like do the job for you, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they really care about your situation too. Only yourself care about yourself. So once you education yourself well, then you can make a right decision and become self-sufficient. I think it's very important.
And so how did you get this is a common question that I
Yeah,
get. All right, PK, so we're not using buyer's agents. If we're buying in another city or town, how are we getting the property inspected? Like, are we buying it, sight unseen,
yeah.
or are we getting it inspected? So practically speaking, like physically, what did you do to get the property inspected before you bought it to make sure you had confidence that it was right? Like, what team member did you engage? How did you go about that?
Right. So through the course, we understand if we want to buy interstate, we need to hire like a high performance property manager, right? And
Right.
that's been taught in the course as well. So what I did is I find a high performance property manager to inspect the house for me and report that result to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if that result come out good, I can let the building inspector to do the more detailed inspection. And that way, for example, because I don't actually know there's a suburb called there's a suburb in Australia, in South Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know that suburb. If I just take a flight to there, I mean, I don't even know where should I inspect from, right? I'm not professional in this area, so it's better to let the professional do their job for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And so you were saying before we started hitting record that there was actually more than 30 offers on this property, or at least 30 groups that went for the inspection.
It's 60 groups, more than 150 people on the open home, and more than 20 offers.
More than 20 offers, more
Yeah.
than 150 people, 60 groups. So like
Yeah.
this property is pretty popular. What is some advice that, having done it now, like in hindsight, what is some advice that you can give to people who keep putting in offers in such a hot market and keep getting turned down? There's so many people that put in one, two, three, four, five, six offers on a property.
Yeah.
Every time the agent saying, sorry, you didn't win. Um, how did you get it? How did you be successful?
So basically, I do my due diligence to find out what is market value is, and then because I already knew this suburb is growing so much so quick,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't just put my market values. I will add some like maybe extra 10 or 15K, because you will know this suburb will grow in next 2 weeks, months anyway, and that way you will get your market values more correctly. And I would say if you are buying in the hard market, I think more correctly you are looking at the past maybe one month sale. That's more correct,
Yeah.
because 2 3 months I think is too old. So I was looking back to 1 month sale and just put an extra 10 15K on the property. And most importantly, I can get this property because it's I waive my financial costs. I think
Yeah.
that helps a lot. But when you do waive your financial costs, you need to make sure you are more likely 100% you will get a finance.
Yeah.
Just try not waive it and you can't get a finance and you lose your deposit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a great tip. If you have enough borrowing capacity, think about, like Benson saying, not putting in a finance clause. Not putting in a finance clause often can be the equivalent of 10 to 20, maybe even $30,000, because the vendor or the seller has more certainty that you're actually going to be able to buy the property. And like Benson was saying, in such a hot market like the suburb that he's bought in Adelaide, where prices are going up, like literally, we're not exaggerating here, what is it, Benson? Like literally 10,000 a week, or at least $15,000 a fortnight. When there's so much growth, you need to do what's indexation. When you value a property, don't just take similar properties over the last 3 months and say, all right, well, this is what it'll be valued at. You need to index. You need to work in that price growth that's occurring on a weekly basis in that suburb, and accordingly value that property. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're always looking in the rearview mirror at what the valuation should be. Meanwhile, you're getting outbid, outbid, outbid again and again and again. And in 3 months' time, you're still without a property and the prices are up $60,000. So, like Benson, can we say that he got something under market value? No, we can't say that. But what we can say is that he got something at market value, and he got it in such a way, in such a suburb, that is going to give him 30, 40, 50, $100,000 capital gains, not after 5 years time, but literally in the next 6, next 12, next 18 months. And it's like, how can we be so sure about this? It's because it's what we do again and again and again. It's not what I teach from my opinions, but it's what the data allows us to predict again and again and again. And it would be great, hold some accountability. Maybe we'll come back in 6 months and I'll report on how Benson's property is actually doing, because that's
Yeah.
ultimately the ultimate test. All right, Benson. Well, maybe just before we wrap things up, what is
Yeah.
like, for everyone that's watching, there's probably more than 10,000 people that will watch this video or listen to it across all channels. For people who, and maybe, don't kind of market my course or anything. I know that you got a lot of value out of it, but
Yep.
what's like one piece of advice that you can give to people who are wanting to buy their first or second investment property, but are struggling? They don't know where to buy. They don't know what to buy. They don't know how to buy interstate. Like, sorry, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but what is like one golden nugget, or one piece of advice that can just help them move forward, that will help them take the next step? Whether it's something you learned from the course or something you learned by experience from implementing the course.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can share?
Yeah, I think very simple example is, if you really want to achieve this goal, right? And you don't know how to do it, it's best way is, if you can do it, free is always best, right? But if you can't do it, I think you definitely need to seek for help, right? But rather than seek for help, I think education yourself is way more important than just put money to someone else and hope then they will help you achieve your goal, right? So, I mean, for this course, it's really is a self-education program. So, and the mentor is already achieved their goal that I wanted to achieve. So it's no doubt I can learn from him. And PK is always here, help us, like a lifetime access with help. So if you have any questions or you are not sure anything, just ask. It's more important that you ask rather than you doing something not sure. And because I think for the investment property, if you make a mistake in your portfolio, it might take way more time to fix it, I guess. So every step need to be correct and confident. Yes.
No, no, well said, well said. And if I can just sort of couple onto that, if you're kind of worried about making a mistake, and if you're worried about doing the wrong thing, please, please, please don't spend any money on anyone like myself or a buyer's agent without first really exhausting your free education options, right? Because you'll make the wrong decision, even of who to trust your money with. So please, whether it's my YouTube channel or anyone else's, make time, hours and hours on YouTube. spend time on Facebook forums, spend time networking, listen to podcasts, build up a base level of education so then you can really see who you can and cannot trust. If you don't know anything about property, you're going to get taken for a ride because there are a million Facebook ads that will promise you this, that, and the other thing: depreciation, passive income, live your life of dreams in 5 years, or instant equity of two, $300,000. There's so much sales and marketing out there. It's so important that first of all, you get free education so you can actually see the forest from the trees. And then if you really need help, then you can assess who is the best for you. Don't just click an ad and give them your money, guys. That is probably going to be a mistake. And if it's not me, I don't really mind. Go with someone you gel with. I think that's why Benson was really good, because like he was asking questions to me. He was feeling comfortable reaching out every day almost, I think, asking questions, which is good, right? Go with someone that you can vibe with, because you will need a bit of hand holding the first time. But if you can educate yourself through something that's proven, then for your second property, your third property, your fourth property, you'll be self sufficient. And I can probably say, Benson, obviously you needed your hand held for the first time, but for the second property, etc., you're going to be more self sufficient. Of course, I'm always there, but I'm pretty
Yep.
sure you can take care of this yourself, now having gone through that process. And so maybe we'll just finish on, what are your plans like over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? When are you thinking about that next investment property? What's next in your investment property portfolio journey?
So my plan is the next 5 years. I trying to get one property for each years.
Hmm.
So I I want to achieve, like, in 5 years time I have five investment property. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's exactly what I did as well when I started. Not being too much in a rush, but one a year is manageable. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to how that goes for you,
No worries. Thank
Benson.
you.
Of course, always here to help you. But I think that's the great thing. Like with mentorship, you kind of feel you have like a vested interest in a way in your success as well. So
Yep.
yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch. And hopefully that this video has actually brought you value, guys, for everyone that's watching. Of course, I'll be the first one to say there's a bit of a marketing or advertising twang to it, but we try to actually give you some value that you can actually put to work, even if you don't consider working with me. But if you do consider working with me, I'll leave a link below to the Property Investment Accelerator. Like Benson said, it's not cheap. So if you're looking for a one, two, three, $4,000 course, this is not for you. But if you do need serious help, there's a link below. You can book a call with me. Otherwise, join the Facebook group, get free education, join the YouTube channel. I'm going to start a podcast very soon. Get free education. That is so important. So lastly, Benson, I just want to congratulate you. It's a pretty big deal, doing this all yourself. It's, well done. Interstate, positive cash flow, high growth. Yeah, massive hats off to you. And yeah,
Thanks,
looking forward
PK.
to seeing
Thanks.
how the next one goes. So have a
Thanks,
smile on
PK.
your face, and yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And my name's PK, and all the best in your passive income journey. Catch you later.